Welcome to The Walk. I'm Kim.
And I'm Neil.
I used to think if I didn't have all the answers to those difficult questions, every single what if, that maybe my faith wasn't strong enough and that I had to have all the answers before I could even talk to someone about God or, begin getting into or the Bible.
And I equate it to almost anything that we do in life. I mean, whether it's our other business that we do, or we can even just use a general example like cars. If I said I could fix something, then you had to be able to ask me questions about that. I should be able to easily answer. Well, yeah, you got to move this and do this and fix it because I have the answers and I'm the authority. But that's not always the case just with Christianity.
The bottom line is you don't have to have all the answers to follow Jesus. It's not like you're going to start one day and just be ready to contradict anything that comes up.
And I'll be honest, I was the guy that used to ask a lot of questions to my friends, knowing that they probably didn't have the answer to it. And I guess that was kind of my way of saying, that's why I'm not a Christian. But I think that was the wrong philosophy.
There's almost like an unexpected expectation, especially online nowadays. There's all these you see this debate and we're going to debate these people and this people, and you feel like you got to have all the answers on science and politics and history and every single verse. And that's not the truth, because faith isn't a debate stage. It's about walking through your doubt, asking those questions and researching it to figure those things out.
Think about it. Even disciples didn't know everything, and they were with Jesus every day. They walked with him. Jesus told them what was going to happen and what was ahead, and they still didn't know.
They saw all those miracles that Jesus did, and they still had fear. Mm-hmm. They still, when they were in the boat and they thought the big storm was coming, they woke up Jesus to say, hey, come save us, knowing that he was in there in the boat with them and he was going to take care of them.
Imagine that. You're going to wake up Jesus. And even then, Jesus didn't reject them. He taught them and corrected them and gave them the right way. I think that we kind of buy into the lie, and the lie is that if I can't explain it, it's not true. And that's not the case with everything in life. This is kind of a funny example, but at the end of the day, I may not understand electricity, but man, when I pull my taser out and I deploy it on somebody, they're going to understand electricity then.
And you don't have to understand everything about God to trust him.
Faith isn't having zero questions. Faith is trusting God in the middle of your question. That's the difference.
And sometimes those really hard questions is where you have the most growth, when you really have to rely on your faith and learn and research to figure things out.
I think when we really think about it, if we believe that we have to have all the answers before we start talking about Jesus, then it's never going to happen because God is infinite and we're not. Here's the thing. There's still a lot. I shouldn't say there's a thing. There's a lot of things I still don't understand, but that doesn't mean that I don't believe in Jesus. And I don't need all the answers, and I'm not going to get all the answers, and I'm in the constant journey to find the answers, whether it's my, constant reading of my audiobook, I guess you call that reading, going to our Bible studies that we go to every week, going to service on Sundays, but it's all a journey, it's a process.
And it's a continuous journey. Even if you read the Bible cover to cover, at the end of the day, you're always going back to those things. And to me, it's not about reading those words, but understanding them and taking time to really dive into it. And so it's a continuous journey. Just like anything in your faith, you're not going to become perfect overnight. You slowly make those changes. And so that's what it is. It's continuous researching and praying and doing all those things so that we can become better.
Another way, I guess, to say that is it's a journey with no end, right?
Oh, yeah.
For me, the bottom line is that following Jesus isn't about winning an argument or having the most Bible and scripture in my head that I can memorize and throw back and win anybody over. It's my own personal journey. I try to get as many people involved that I think are open and willing, and I think that's a thing that people miss a lot of times. You can't just say, well, I believe in Jesus, so I'm going to make everybody else. That's not how that works. Timing is everything. Timing in people's lives is important. And maybe you're there at the right time, at the right place, and maybe you're not. But it's my own personal journey as I go along the way.
And transformation doesn't require a PhD in theology.
For sure. To bring this video to a close, if you feel like you're being held back because you don't have all the answers, you don't need all the answers. In fact, that's part of the process. It's learning the answers as we go and sharing what we've learned.
So ask your questions, seek truth, and don't let unanswered questions stop you from walking. This is The Walk. We're not experts. We're just here learning too. And it's okay to say, hey, I don't know that answer. Let me research it some more. Let me pray on it. Let me think about it too.
And don't confuse humility with weakness. I mean, admitting you don't know everything is probably the best place where true faith really begins.
Thanks for walking it out with us. We'll see you in the next video.